Hello, everybody. Welcome to Managerial Accounting. This is absorption versus variable costing. This is actually part B of part 7, but apologize in advance for the numerical sequences. I just couldn't get it all into one shortly more condensed video. I've been failing at that recently, but questions justify it. So we went through and we converted a variable costing income statement into an absorption costing income statement. And as you can kind of see, what do we have to really kind of go through and do? Well, the sales are always going to be the same, but the sales are going to help me determine the number of units that I'm selling. The next thing I went through and did is I determined cost of goods sold. Because I'm using FIFO, or first in, first out, the first units in are the first ones that are expensed to cost of goods sold. So over here, I had 5,000 units in my beginning inventory. Under absorption costing, those had a cost per unit of 684. Where did the 684 come from? This value over here was basically at 282. So my 684 was right over here. And I'm looking at this and I need to use a new color. So we'll go ahead and make that quick change. There we go. Okay, so right over here, my fixed, the beginning inventory cost per unit has to include the fixed factory overhead per unit. So once I have that under FIFO, I've set 5,000 units. So these units here are gone. I now need another 15,000 units because I sold 20, and that's where I'm coming down here. Now for this one over here, for my fixed factory overhead per unit, I've got to take the 5.3 million that I fully expensed under variable costing, divided by the current year production of 19,000 units. And this is going to give me 278.95 and change. So let's do this really quickly. Let's go ahead and say, all right, our net income under variable costing for 12/31/25 was how much? It was 2,435,000. Our net income under absorption costing was 2,147,089 for a difference of $294,211. Let's see if we can identify the difference. Okay, the first difference of where this is going to be coming from is going to be the beginning inventory fixed factory overhead. Okay, why is that? Because under variable costing, this full dollar amount was expensed for, but it becomes a part of our inventory under absorption costing. So this beginning inventory in terms of what I expensed during 2025 was 5,000. My per unit right over here is going to be 282. So that's going to be the first part of our difference. Now, the second part of our difference is we have ending inventory fixed factory overhead. Remember, I went through and I fully expensed 5.3 million under variable costing in 2025. However, I did not do the same over here. Why? I've got over here of the current year production, I've got 15,000 units that I took to cost of goods sold. I made 19,000. So I have over here in my ending inventory for fixed factory overhead, I have 4,000 units from my ending inventory. The per unit, my ending inventory fixed factory overhead on a per unit basis was at 278.95. When I multiply these through, I get a 1,115,789. So my difference between these two is going to be 294,211. That's where the difference is coming from. My net income is higher, partially under variable costing, because this year I basically expensed the beginning inventory amount of the fixed factory overhead under absorption costing. So this is what's creating the difference. Okay, let's go ahead and do the same thing for the next year. So my net income under variable costing And I have net income under absorption costing. And this is going to be as of 12/31/26. So over here, my net income under absorption costing as of 12/31/26 was 2,427,383. My net income under variable costing was 2,668,000, or for a difference of 240,617. Let's see if we can go through and identify where this difference is coming from. The difference in any types of these problems is always going to be coming from the fixed factory overhead. So my beginning inventory fixed factory overhead is going to be how much? Well, over here, for the second year of absorption costing, this beginning inventory fixed factory overhead was already expensed in the prior year as part of this amount here. So when I go ahead and look at this over here, let's go ahead and do that. So over here, my units and my beginning inventory fixed factory overhead. My beginning inventory per unit. Okay, and this again, this is here, this is for 2026. The work we just did up here is for 2025. So beginning inventory fixed factory overhead, the per unit for this $2025 amount was $278.95. So over here, when I multiply these through, I get $1,115,789. However, I also have ending inventory fixed factory overhead. How many units did I have in my ending inventory? Well, over here, I had 4,000 units, and then from the current year production, I sold 26,000. If I made 29,000, that means I have 3,000 units in my ending inventory. Okay, so right over here, and let's write this out for 2025. We'll say over here, 2026. My ending inventory, right? So this over here is going to be at 12/31/25. This is going to be 4,000 units. So over here, I've got 4,000 units. I produced 29,000, right? So my gas is going to be over here at 33,000. And I sold during this year, I sold 30,000. So my ending inventory 12/31/26 is going to be 3,000 units. Okay, so over here, I have 3,000 units. And remember, these costs for the ending inventory are not being expensed in the current period. So what this is going to be over here, this is going to be 291.72. So over here, my ending inventory fixed factory overhead is going to be 875,172. When I subtract these two numbers, I'm getting to the number that I had up here. So again, when you're looking at a way to check your work, right? More than likely, if you're taking an exam with me, I would just have you go through and convert it to absorption. But for the extra credit portion, this sounds like a great question. So this is the second problem, or this is the first problem that we're going through, verifying that we've done it properly. So I want to thank you for watching with me here today. Any kind of questions or comments you might have, please feel free to leave them below. And thank you so much for liking and subscribing. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a great day.